Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this Thomas the Train themed cake, so let's get right into it. I'm starting out with 3 6-inch cakes that I've cut in half, and I'm going to be using 5 layers altogether, so one of those halves did not get used. Using my small offset spatula and some Swiss meringue buttercream, I'm going to fill my cakes, just making sure that my buttercream is nice and level. I just had some light pink left over. You do not have to use pink, you can use whatever color you want. Once my cake is stacked up, I'm adding a thin layer of that buttercream all around the outside, and this is going to lock in all of those crumbs. That's going to go into the fridge to chill for about 25 minutes, and when you can touch your finger to the buttercream and none of it comes off, it's ready for the final ice. So I'm adding a big dollop of buttercream on top of my cake, and then using my small offset spatula and my turntable, I'm just going to smooth that out until the top is level. Using my larger offset spatula, I'm adding a thick layer of buttercream on the sides of my cake, and then to smooth those down, I'm going to grab my bench scraper and just work my way around. For all of the buttercream that accumulated on the top edge of my cake, I'm just going to grab my bench scraper and pull that into the center, just keeping it level so I don't mess up my nice top. Now that my cake is iced, it's going to go into the fridge to chill, and I'm going to start on my fondant. I have this green color that I'm going to roll out on my cornstarch surface to about 1/8 of an inch thick. Next, using my fondant roller, I'm picking that up and then draping that over my chilled cake, just working quickly with my hands and my fondant smoother to push all the air out from the top of that cake, and then working my way down the sides, just pulling out all the pleats in the fondant and smoothing down until I reach the bottom. I'm going over the whole thing one more time with my fondant smoother and then grabbing my pizza cutter to cut away all the excess fondant at the bottom. To make my topper, I'm rolling out some light blue fondant, and then I'm going to drape that over a 6-inch cake board that I've brushed with some shortening to help it stick, and I'm just going to smooth that down and then cut away the excess at the sides. To make Thomas, I have this template that I will link below, and basically I'm just deconstructing it and trying to recreate it as best I can with my fondant and my fondant tools. To make his face look a little more rounded, when I rolled out my gray fondant, I put a piece of saran wrap over top and made sure it was stretched out really tight so that when I used my circle cutter to punch out his face, it kept the edges round instead of flat. I added Thomas in a couple different pieces, just making sure the very bottom of him was overlapping on that green fondant. Now that my topper is done, I'm going to set that aside so that it can firm up a bit and then move back to my cake. To make my tunnel, I'm rolling out this brick red fondant. I just added a little bit of black fondant to my red, and then rolling it out, I'm cutting out this rectangle shape and embossing it with my brick impression mat. I will link the one that I use below. Next, I'm rolling out some black fondant and then cutting out this long strip, and using my circle cutter, I'm just going to cut off the top so it's rounded. I added that on top of my brick rectangle using a little bit of shortening, just making sure that it was centered as I could get it. I added that to the front of my cake. You can see that I've covered the board in green fondant. If you need to see how to do that, I will link that video below. And I placed the trees on either side of the tunnel and the bushes on either side of Thomas, and just laid those boards down in front of Thomas's wheels and in front of the tunnel. With some gray fondant, I rolled that out and cut these really long strips and just put those on either side of the boards for the actual tracks, making sure that they line up with Thomas's wheels. And I did this on the bottom coming out of the tunnel as well. And lastly, to make the little railroad sign, I cut out a circle of yellow fondant, and then using a edible food marker, just drew on the X and the little R's, and I placed them right beside my tunnel with a long black strip of fondant for the pole. And this was the final result, guys. I really hope you liked this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.